Okay, well, this is a very special episode of Inside Performance for Surrey Tennis. Justin Sherring here, back with a very special guest, the current world under 18 number 12 on the ITF rankings, Surrey's very own Arthur Fery. Arthur, welcome to Inside Performance.
Hi, Justin. All good?
Very good, very good. Thank you. So, obviously, the reason that we like to do these episodes is to keep track of all the great things that are happening to Surrey players, and you're having a great run at the moment. How's it been for you recently with your two great British Tour wins and your UK Pro Series win? How are you feeling?
Feeling great. Played a lot of matches since the start of lockdown, which was obviously good because I hadn't played any competitive tennis for 3-4 months, and then coming back in and playing loads of matches. Felt great to be out there again.
Good, good. And just going back a little bit to lockdown because it seems like it was a long time ago. But what sort of things did you get up to? Did you manage to train at all? Did you keep fit and strong, or anything that maybe the juniors of Surrey tennis would like to know what you got up to? A little bit that maybe other juniors could pick up from.
Yeah. The first 2 weeks of lockdown was actually very nice to kind of take a step back and really relax. Um, I took a week and a half like completely off. I had the start of the year was pretty intense. Traveled so much. Went to Australia and then went to Russia. But all over the place. It was good to kind of take a step back, and then as lockdown progressed, we put together a very good fitness program with like all my coaches, my fitness coach and my tennis coaches, and that really helped, I think, especially physically, and I could see it over the past 3 weeks of tournaments. I felt a lot stronger, and those 2 months of fitness really helped.
Very, very good. I mean, often gets mentioned this sort of the ability to transition from good junior into hopefully professional senior, and we're talking about if you want to
Yeah,
make a living at tennis, hopefully getting somewhere near the top 100 now. Is physical fitness big part of
yeah.
your training now, and has it become more of a part?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now that I'm transitioning, playing a couple more pro events, I'm starting to play like the better guys, the better rankings, top 400, top 300, and definitely one of the things that I see, is just there's a huge jump in intensity, and the guys, the better guys bring on the court, and I have to be ready to be ready to fight against those guys. And the levels of concentration that we've had, like, just kept through the whole match, are very different to the levels of concentration and intensity that juniors put onto court.
Okay, so do you do anything for extra concentration training, or do you do anything that perhaps, yeah, that might be a little different, or is it just a matter of staying focused, point in, point out?
Well, I think over the past 3 weeks, I've actually done that very, very well. I've managed to keep my lows in the match, my highs and lows, pretty consistent, and not having too many dips in focus. Um, and that definitely helps. I mean, against the better guys, you get broken once, you played a bad game, and then suddenly the set's kind of gone, you know. I think definitely just focusing on every point, keeping mentally engaged. I've been doing quite a lot of breathing exercise as well over lockdown. That's definitely helped my concentration, just not letting my mind wander too much.
Okay, what in terms of sort of meditation?
Yeah, meditation. A lot of meditation and just breathing exercises. Even like before matches. Implemented as part of my warm ups. Um, just to keep calm and mentally engaged just from the start.
Very good. I guess that sort of controls your focus. It controls your any levels of anxiety that you may have
Yeah, exactly.
pre-match. So you'd recommend getting into a
Yeah,
little
for
bit of.
sure.
I mean, do you do any sort of yoga at all, or is it just meditation?
I do a little bit of yoga from time to time. Um, if I feel particularly tight in some places, I'll stretch and roll, do a morning routine, just to get the muscles loosened and stuff. But I definitely think that the breathing aspect and the meditation aspect is a big part of the whole concentration and focus side of tennis. And different people react differently. People who are more composed on court and like to be really calm, they'll function differently to people who love to be pumped up, and different things will work for different people, really.
Well, that is a wonderful insight, and that's why we call this inside performance, because I feel that we've just got inside the
Yeah,
performance of a great prospect and great player. Now, I get the pleasure of being at the NTC like you do, and we're at the National Tennis Centre at the moment, and I've seen you practicing with a lot of the good British pros. I mean, has that really helped you to understand and feel the levels that you're
yeah,
aspiring to?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Playing with the pros, Cam, Liam, Kyle as well. Just the level of intensity that they bring to every practice session, and just seeing where that level is at, like close to top 100, is yes, it's so good practicing with those guys, because you really get to see where the benchmark is.
Very good. And have you had the pleasure and the opportunity to hit with Sir Andy Murray yet?
I have not hit with Andy yet. It's definitely something that I want to do in the near future.
Yeah, it's been sounding recently like it's a very intense two
Yeah,
or 3 hours.
yeah, it must be. Yeah, I can imagine.
Um, so you mentioned briefly at the start of the year, you did a lot of traveling and you headed obviously to the furthest tournament that most of us think about, which is Australia. Just tell us a little bit about the travel and the sort of lifestyle issues that one has to think about when you're going as far as Australian Open, and tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about how you did and what was that like for you?
yeah. Well, obviously Australia was my first tournament of the year, so I'd taken 3 or 4 weeks out of competitive tournaments in December. So the first tournament of the year, obviously you're going to come in a little bit rusty. For juniors, there's a run up. There's a tournament before in Traralgon, and yeah, the travel obviously was the first time I'd gone that far to play tennis, really. So it was a bit of an adventure. I travelled there on my own as well. My coach met me there, so all the flights were on my own. I found the jet lag wasn't actually that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I felt like the body clock was just completely out of sync, and actually I found it easier than, say, going to Florida, for example, which is confusing, but I found that it was easier. The heat wasn't too bad. Um, I found that the temperature varied a lot from day to day. Sometimes you'd get 35 degrees, sometimes you'd get 25 degrees. It'd be very confusing. But overall, I mean, I loved the experience. First week, I lost first round, sixth in the third to a good player. I played a decent match. It was very windy. And then second week, I played a very, very good match. Second round, won 5 in the third against the seed, and then played a very disappointing match in third round against a player I knew very well, French guy. So I was got completely gutted to lose third round, because I really felt like I had a shot at going far in that tournament. But then we managed to kind of bring it back and made semis and doubles with Felix, my partner from GB as well.
At
So
the
that was
main Aussie Open, right?
yeah at the Open Juniors. So that was good. It kind of made the week a little bit better, even if the singles result was not what I expected.
Okay, so a lot of the insights that done during lockdown for this Inside Performance
Yeah,
sort of season has been around the mindset and around dealing with losing and coping with um, not performing to the levels that you'd like to perform. How do you, does it hurt when you lose? Does it hurt?
yeah,
How much does it hurt? Um,
yeah,
how long does it last? And how do you get over it?
yeah, yeah. But usually I'm not the type of person to get like winded up over defeat or over a loss. I usually kind of turn back around and I feel fine about it. But I've got to say that one in Australia kind of it did sting quite a lot. Traveling that far, last year at juniors, obviously I didn't know that lockdown was going to come, but it's probably one of my last junior slams. And yeah, it just felt like a missed opportunity really. I had doubles. I played in the morning, had doubles in the afternoon, had quarters and doubles. In the afternoon, so I couldn't really think too much about my singles. Had to get back out on court in the afternoon, and luckily we won the quarters in dubs. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a painful loss like that, you get over it like in a couple of days. But then the most important thing is really to learn from it and understand what you could have done better so that those type of things you try to prevent those type of things from happening again. Because it's just not pleasant.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's just good to hear that you're human and it
Yeah,
hurts. And I guess
yeah,
I kind of say if you care, then you feel the pain. If you really care, you feel the pain and you do something about it, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. And
And it looks
I took a lot of lessons out of that match.
it looks by your results more recently that you definitely took those lessons.
Yeah,
Are you the kind of guy that's able to take a loss like that, learn the lessons, and move on with like a little bit of a sort of revenge mentality? Like I need to get back out there and sort this thing out, or are you able just to look at each match as it goes, or do you kind of take a bit of? Did you take a little bit of what happened in Australia into the British Tour, into the UK Pro Series, and think, right, I need to make sure that we don't let that happen again?
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I take each match as a different match, each match alone, but definitely, yeah, just taking the lessons from that match really. And obviously I was a bit sloppy in that match. Legs weren't really working, not mentally engaged fully. um, yeah, and I mean, having those sorts of matches, even though they hurt, they definitely help along the road, because you know that if when you're back in that position again in, let's say, 4 months down the road, and you're like, oh, it's the same thing happening again. Come on, I got to do something different here and change it, because otherwise it's gonna end up badly again.
Yeah, so I think the old saying is, "It's a fool that thinks they can do the same thing, huh?
Yeah,
And not get a different result." So you've got to change something, and you have to adapt. And I
exactly.
guess that's the whole idea about being a performance player and
Yeah,
being a performing performance player. Because if you're
yeah,
not performing, then the performance doesn't change, right?
yeah. And the better players, they, even when they're playing badly or not everything is going their way, they always find solutions.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. So give us a little insight into what's next for you. What can we look out for you? Because we definitely want to follow you. We definitely want the next generation of juniors making sure that we know who Arthur Fery is and you're
Mhm.
representing. And then where can we see you play next?
Well, I'm playing, so I'm in France here for this week, but then I'll be back in England, back in the UK next week to be ready for the finals week at UK Pro Series at St George's Hill, from the 9th to the 16th. So I'll be over there competing. Hopefully, I put in a good week of matches. And then, I mean, I'm still unsure yet. I mean, the schedule really hasn't come out. I may be playing some pro events in the UK if they're there. Otherwise, I mean, we're taking it week by week, month by month, really, because tournaments are all over the place. We don't know when it's going to start again. Hopefully, I get to play French Open Juniors, but then again, there's a big question mark on that as well, whether they'll be able to get it up and running in time.
So US Open Juniors, they've cancelled, right?
Yeah, it's been cancelled. So hopefully I get to play one more slam, French Open, and yeah, got big hopes and big goals for that.
Well, that is fantastic. I tell you what, I really, really enjoyed talking to you, and I really, really appreciate your time. And
No problem. No.
and
Thanks,
you're in
thanks for the
France. Are you
question.
relaxing? Or are you hitting a few balls?
Not for the moment. I'm taking a couple of days off, and then I'll start hitting again pretty soon. Just to get ready for the night.
Well, that's awesome, mate. I tell you what, I can't wait to share this. Let everybody see it. Let everyone listen to what it sounds like, and your mentality and your approach. I particularly love the idea that you're practicing meditation and you're breathing and you're trying to stay calm, but also aware that you need to be probably the most intense, for each and every point, ready to go into battle. So I love that message. So on behalf of everybody, congratulations for your recent success. Keep fighting, and we keep watching you. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Justin.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.